All right, hello. I want to give you a rundown, literally, of more information about me and Uncle T at Alpha Omega. Before we get started, okay? So this is not a lying series. This is a 100% true, factual video. So, fuck this shit. All right. Now it's time, okay? It's probably time for me to talk about this shit. Okay, so first of all, what you're forgetting to realize is that Alpha Omega took place when I did most of my research of, especially in Oakland, with the FTM mob. Jeffrey. Jeffrey's partner, Taz, Naeem. All right. What ended up happening is Oakland was a generation of Tut. It was there when Tut first came out. Now, there's a whole bunch of other shit that I learned about, that shit, that's secretly a pop and lock in the 80s that it originated from King Tut. But the whole dance, I'm talking about the early 2000s, really, that's when Tut came out, and that's where I was located, okay? So there was a lot of shit that had to do with that, all right? So with that being said, all right, the fact is, if you can survive in Oakland, lately, then you're doing big things because Oakland is one of the most dangerous cities known to California. Okay, so well, all that in a nutshell, literally, let me tell you something. Okay, when Uncle Tommy literally was quote unquote more street smart than me, I'm gonna put flat out there. Literally, the rules of the street is don't start no shit and there will be no shit. Okay, that's true because everybody's a nice person. Because a gangster on TV is an exaggeration. That's why I was able to survive in Oakland. I was doing a lot of shit that I was, doing in high school in Oakland, and they consider it big shit. Literally, Robert said that shit one time. That's why kids are too cruel. That's why I'm trying to tell you, literally, kids are just fucking brats, literally. But there are adults compared to autism because they're willing to do something advanced. Okay, what makes them kids is that literally you can get a statue, literally you can get big monuments, literally in society. It'll be shit on by a little kid. You wanna know why? Because kids have no discipline. I don't want to go into that. Okay, all right. Lately, so let's just put it like this. I knew how to do absolutely everything, before I got to Oakland. Literally, I knew how to fight. I knew how to cook. Literally, I wanted to make knuckles. I had everything. Literally, then I did everything, and you pissed me off when you tell lesbian cops. It made everything retarded. And the worst part about this, literally, is I wonder, this is the thing, literally, this is my Afghan neighbor, or anybody who wants to be gangster all the way, who doesn't let go of, a gun, things like his ego. What ends up happening is that literally, if they would have get in the same situation on mom, they'll whoop their ass for over 1,000 years. And this is how it actually works. So you don't get anything out of gangsters, tell them straight. Literally, what I'm trying to say is that they were so good at this shit that it dragged on. Okay, but hold up. Some people were here for the oxygen thing, but anyway, literally, when I first got on Sonny, before he died, literally, I literally mentioned, ha ha ha, very funny. Literally, I'm talking about grandma's oxygen tank here. You really think that's a good idea at this matter of time? Literally, the lesbian cops are so stupid, so out of it, that they use space. Literally, they use NASA, they use everything, literally, to fucking make me get 5150 because they thought I was smart. I was shit born. The whole situation is nobody in their generation can beat their family. Nobody in my brother's generation can beat their family. No one in Donald's generation can beat their family. Why? Because the computer and fucking smartphones and shit. No one has the real discipline to beat their family. That's why I'm in a fuck situation. That's why you don't have things that are grand and old like me, because you're stupid. You don't take your time on shit, alright? But anyway, the main part about this is I put the chicken nuggets in the oven, literally, and I was literally a dreadhead from my uncle. So when you make him say all this shit, literally, it pisses me off because, you're very masculine, and the reality of what's really there is recorded because it's a lesbian cop puts in a bun the entire time that you find your uncle. Alright, and you wonder why this is dangerous in that situation? Because over time he has been to the military, he's been to a clean base, he's been to the insane asylum where they go over literally, don't absorb, look at the fucking grains of shit, that's really mature, alright? You know what that means? That means when he's dead, he calls out, you have autism. I'm telling you flat out, Thomas Beecham, literally on paper, like Society of No Images, like I told you for 1,000 times, literally calls out that you have autism. But he did go to the insane asylum. It was the exact same level of knowledge and martial arts, so that's why I got really mad, okay? But I took the ways of Robert, Irisi, in order to make fun of white people, and it's not a good idea, okay? So when I first got to Alpha Omega, not only was the Devil Wears Prada on TV, but my hit show Lego Models was a thing. When it started getting the Jasmine shit, I started getting no respect for mainstream media. They showed her one time on TV. Not even her, but fucking me and fucking Rainer with the nose ring. And Wild 'N Out, it was the same thing. So the momentum was good. When I started making music, at the music at My Little Pony, that was the first thing. Me actually, My Little Pony, one of the pinpoints, you know. Also, you know, Catherine was there, you know, with some Krypton, Great Sega Man was there. That was back when I was a Krypton shit, well, I didn't know that it was young, okay? So, you know, I was imagining shit down the street, like, yeah, I get to be Deco, get studio, and Easy Kumadoria. I was doing all that shit, you know, and the truth behind it, alright? Is that Alpha and Omega had 2 locations. The first location really is where I had to share with Jennifer. This is when shit really, really pops off, okay? And the reason why I have dreads is because I kept on doing my head over and over and over again. That's why you saw the wave. That's why you saw Lily and certain shit. So when you're an actual fucking gangster, wear a gun that spanks bitches, that has the fucking mob and shit, and a white person called her out, where an Asian person, Lily, where you got close to your fucking door and shit, Lily, they gave you, you know, you lost the right to bang. You lost the right to call white people on this shit. And they hid behind child molestation, you know, pedophilia and shit, try to call it autism. They do hella shit calling autism. And I figured out the cops figured out that they forgot that they had autism themselves, alright? Really, they forgot that their point was way worse. And a lot of cops have full on autism. That's what you don't get, alright? Aaron's mom told her, there is nothing scarier, even if you're a bump in the street, nothing's gonna be scarier than what he just did to you in the dance, all that shit. And I'm like, ha ha ha, you know my original attitude with Stills, the anime, you and Denji and shit, really, how I'm laughing at you with the anime, you know, say, ah ha ha, single mother this, that, it's all about fun party, fucking Mario Kart, I did all that shit, alright? Literally, you know why? Because I pay off common sense. I pay off the idea of everything for the children. You have my, you know, single mom say, Lily, oh, it's selfish and that thing about what Chris thought about. Guess what? I caught you last time when the game dragged on. Well, I couldn't get my 29, I couldn't get my 30. Guess what happened at 31? I caught them all combat. And it's stupid. Because all they did, literally, the reason why it's unintellectual, because the lesbian cop was pushing a button the whole time. It pisses me off. And he's like, well, I'm going to hold you to your Eminem. I'm going to hold you this and that, and it's recorded, alright? Literally. I learned hella fucking shit that you're really just a craftsman that's hiding behind magic, alright? I don't know exactly how Gang Member Meeting goes. They give you hella facts to talk about Hitler shit. It's like Hitler is secretly like when people keep their mouth shut. Yeah, well, that's why you don't have an extra mouth to feed. Alright, I'm done. Literally, and you know, what happened was, you know, when the dollar store is back up, that's the thing, literally, about going back in time with Sarah, literally, a lot of things got to be like the dollar store, literally, I tested it, okay? Literally, so, what happened is I'm not even fully there yet. Literally, I have yet to go back in time. But the main part about Lego Bottles is that she was on TV because Zach was a mystery character in the beginning in Kennedy. You know, I'm gonna make another video about, you know, the biggest fan base on the channel. All right, and what that is, all right. What that is let's get rate all the schools, you know, from Kennedy, this and that. Who was the best school for my fan base? But the truth behind it is, when the whole game first started, when I put Jennifer Lego Bottles, literally, I went to the dollar store, I got my little eggs and shit, literally, I had my whole playlist on my iPod, you know, memorized, literally, and so, literally, when I got, you know, the fucking egg burritos and shit, and I made Lego Bottles, I'm like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do, Jennifer, it's gonna work, literally, and then Fortress was involved, and I started playing, you know, Blink-182 First Date, and I knew I was a gorilla. Remember, the gang I got to a hood, you can't even get crowd too, I was a gorilla. That means I'm a crit when it comes to, you know, movement, literally, an idea, but I'm a blood when it comes to intuition, like Linkin Park, that's a gorilla, this is that. Since I know how to make mixer, I would say shit on the street, like, you know, my elixir beat is, you know, perfect, you know, crit blood, that's why I'm a gorilla. I was saying all that shit, literally, and he just fucking called a crackhead. Your biggest fucking problem right now, literally, is just forwarding me to mental health, knowing that I joined the game, alright? But I don't join games all the way. I don't be like, nigga, this and that, because that's arrogant. In fact, the biggest point about my pain, literally, is the fact that, literally, I have all the super socks, all the super characters and shit, literally, and I have to fall back and watch Jason, because all you're doing is, like, ghetto shit at Aritza. And it's true, literally. And then what ended up happening was, this is going to be the biggest confession, we got to the new house that was on our man's app, literally, the pastor got 3 big TVs, boom! A big focal point, literally, and then I have my shit all laid out, literally, like Fabulous, my pink sugar Mara hat, literally, right next to a Vaseline, literally knew that was a big temptation, and then, you know, the pastor said, well, that's still a lot of stuff, and I hate this shit, literally, and then what's gonna happen to you is they're gonna brag you, literally, that the pastor's gonna do this and that, literally, feeling on, you know, your roommate, alright? Literally, and, the biggest fucking contradiction, you know, thinking that he was a loser, he had, 2 pictures of his daughters being a cheerleader playing basketball, literally in his drawer. Alright, so you know, have fun getting to where it's being ghetto. Alright, now think about it, literally, after 3 TVs are the main focal points, literally, that's when you got the crew on, that's when me and Max started dancing. But beforehand, literally, I had everything, you know, set in stone, you know, including the anime. But I'm telling you, it's not fun. Do not refer to me to something ghetto. I had skills in the DeviantArt community. I had a whole DeviantArt community, including making an MMORPG nods game with Temujin, literally, for Appian phone before I left for Alpha Omega. It's crazy. So, you know, Lily, so I'll let you see my fucking name on TV. This is that. I'm not fucking famous. Do not fuck with me. I told those American niggas not to fuck with me, alright? So, that's not cool, Lily. That's why consistency is a thing. So lesbian cops avoid consistency because they know where it is at heart. It's somebody hiding behind the shit, but they know it's the only way to take you seriously on paper. And since they're trying to fool you where gangsta and Sarah Jack, the biggest fucking thing that they're trying to do with their retard self, Lily, is fool you with a gang. Look what you did to their gang. Look what you did to Armand on the freeway. And it's stupid. And stupid shit the whole wide world. Lily, you have to pay off information sometimes. You can't always have a copy style because there's context. And the reason why they're so retarded is to keep you from having context, alright? Lily, so after that, Lily, I looked for the eggs, Lily. What day we're gonna have extra pastor. I'm telling you, Lily, that's it. You know, I knew absolutely everything. What pissed me off is after Ultimate Foul, after all those fairy tale reviews, after watching Eden Zero, after adapting, after playing basketball, Lily got the same shit. And guess what they asked me to do to go back to school? What does that do in this situation when you're trying to fool Lily with the government, saying this and that, and your uncle saying one thing? School is gonna separate the bullshit because it's not gonna allow you to have an uneducated excuse. And when it comes to advance, it's gonna give you something advanced up front to, but with nobody gets things except the whole Chris Brown, and the only catch is that you're using games. So you saying that the other side can fuck women when the other side can do something definite, that's not a good game. That's not even a devil's game. At least the devil is fucking Chris back when he tries to fool somebody. Get the fuck out of here.